Hey everybody, we are going to go back to those career categories and specific jobs that we talked about yesterday and look at them even closer. I am going to share my screen with you and we're going to look at, I'm struggling with my screen share, Career One Stop, which is an excellent resource for exploring different careers. You can see here, I've pulled up the first career that we talked about, one of the careers that we talked about. The first one we're going to talk about today is being a painter, which is in the construction or building career category. This website tells you the average pay that people in this category make per year. It says $38,940 per year. Talks about career outlook. It says average. So there should be new job opportunities in the future. And what kind of training do you need? It's entry level. So that means you don't need any formal education or training. And I think my little painter, my dog, is messing with his paintbrush on the floor behind me. So here is a quick video that shows people who might work in a painting or construction career. We're going to see painting walls, equipment, building bridges, using brushes, rollers, and paint guns. Also going to show part of the job of painting is removing paint from old surfaces before you paint and mixing colors. So let's check this out.
Watching paint dry may be famously boring.
The job we were looking at specifically was a helper for a house painter. So I'm back this up just a little bit because we're going to listen to what helpers do. They help clean and do different carry materials and other tasks as assigned. So when you hear that, they have a lot of injuries from falling and strains and irritants like drywall dust and paint. So if you have asthma or breathing issues, that might be a problem to you. We'll back this up one more time and listen to the risks involved. These are very important to consider when you're thinking about if this job would be a good fit for you. Remember who you guys all know who fell from the ladder? All right. All right, that was the career of painting or being a painting helper. We saw them working outside. We learned that there are some dangerous work conditions and that working with paint itself can cause irritation to your breathing. There are frequent falls and muscle strains, and you have to wear protective equipment. You don't need any formal education. So think about that and look back at that assessment and mark if you think you like this job, say no way, or you still want to learn a little bit more? All right, the next category we're going to check out, this is the closest video I could find on the Career One Stop website, but it's a good one. But this is the closest one I could find to harvesting fruit. So this is agricultural equipment operator video. So it's going to show people who use equipment, but they'll talk about different ways that they harvest and till land and prepare for crops and harvest crops and get things ready to go. You know who to talk to in our class if you need a farmer's opinion, and that is not me. I'm going to pause it real quick here because this is very similar to the orchard job that we were looking at. And there are several greenhouses in the Sioux Falls area and several different stores like Hy-Vee, Campbell Supply, Ace Hardware that set up greenhouses that would be great work experiences for students who are interested in this field to try out.
Farm and ranch animal farm workers feed and care for animals, including cattle, pigs, goats, fish, and bees. They monitor their health, clean shelters, and administer medications wearing insecticides. Animal breeders select and breed animals who produce food with desired characteristics, such as chicks, owls, sometimes cats, dogs, and other pets. They agricultural workers specialize in wild livestock and agriculture. The work is
So the work is almost all outside. There's lots of lifting, crouching, bending, carrying heavy tools. Oh, and look at what they're climbing. This is going to be a no for me. I have not changed my mind. All right, so these are farm workers, laborers, crop, nursery, and greenhouse workers. The average wage is about $24,320 a year in the United States. The career outlook is below average. That means it's going to be harder to find a job in this career. This might be something that if you're really interested in the career, you can start out as a hobby. I am hoping to grow some plants on my patio this summer, and I might help my brother with his garden. No training, no typical training is usually required. So we will look at our next video and decide. You need to decide for the horticulture or the orchard if that's a yes, a no way, or I still kind of want to learn more. All right. The next one we're going to look at is the Cook's Institution and Cafeteria career video. This is related to the hospital nutrition worker job. So we will take this away and learn about what this job entails. We talked about reading recipes and having to read directions for special diets, especially if you're working in a hospital setting. That's a little bit different. The other videos we watched so far haven't mentioned vocational or technical school, but there are programs that you can go to learn how to cook, culinary programs. So this looks like a really busy job. You're working inside, you're working with food, so you might get dirty, but you get to work with people too if you're serving. And then I believe this is our last one. This is the non-farm animal caretakers. So the job we were looking at on our unique learning systems lesson was bathing dogs at a local animal shelter. So we're going to see some examples of bathing, exercising, grooming, working in shelters, zoos, and aquariums. And we'll take a look at this video here. It says the annual salary is usually $20,000 to $28,000. And this is in a very specific category, so it doesn't tell us what the outlook or how likely you are to find a job is. Oh, here, bright, so very likely. And we have some students who have worked in similar roles at Petco and at a horse ranch, which is pretty cool. All right, let's learn more about taking care of animals. Remember, we had a classmate who worked at Precious Pets Doggy Daycare. What a fun job. He got to play with the dogs, but he also had to clean up after the dogs. So remember our friend who worked at Petco? We had a couple classmates work at Petco. One was in charge of cleaning the small animal cages, so he had to lift them off the shelves and scoop them out. And it was very hard work, heavy work. And another student who helped stock shelves and lift those heavy bags of dog food and cat food on the shelves. So very physically demanding. You have to be very strong to do this job. A couple ways you can get experience with animals around here is include being involved with 4-H or volunteering at the Humane Society or Outdoor Campus, which are all places, well, I guess we volunteer at the Outdoor Campus, but if you're interested in volunteering at the Humane Society, we could help set you up. We also have students who volunteer at the zoo. which is pretty cool. So another way to get experience with animal care. So think of those 4 jobs, take a look back at that assessment, and I want you to be able to tell me which job or which category you're most interested in, and one example or one place in Sioux Falls you could get a job or get volunteer experience related to that job at. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.